Dear students, today we are going to study about the third unit, which consists of two basic transistors, BJT, bipolar junction transistor, and MOSFET, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. First of all, what is this transistor? Transistor is a three-terminal device which will have the capacity to amplify. Amplify means which can raise the strength of the weak signal. Wherever there is a weak signal, this particular device, either BJT or MOSFET, will raise the strength of the weak signal. So before going to the details of a BJT, let us study how this transistor name is given. See here, a transistor means transfer resistor. So joined together, we call this as a transistor. So what is transferring here? The charge carriers are moving from one resistance path to another resistance path. That's why we call this as a transfer resistor. That's why it is known as, so of the part we have take this as a transistor. So what it transfers? It transfers the majority charge carriers. You know that the majority charge carriers in p-type are holes. Majority charge carriers in n material is electrons. So the majority charge carriers are transferring from one place to another place where there is a low resistance path to high resistance path. So that's why the name has given this transistor. So what is the use of moving the transistors from low resistance path to high resistance path? That leads to the important application as a amplifier. As the charge carriers are moving from low resistance path to high resistance path, it has an excellent application that is known as amplification. So whenever there is a low or weak signal, whenever it is passing from low to high resistance path, that will create some amplification. That is, the magnitude of the input signal is raised at the output. For example, this is an amplifier. I am giving a 2 millivolts of signal here. I am getting 10 millivolts. So there is a drastic change in the voltage of the signal. That is a magnitude from 2 millivolts to 10 millivolts is raised. So that is done by only by the signal passing from low resistance path to high resistance path. So what is the gain? How much gain is done here? So suppose if V0 is the output voltage, input voltage is 2 millivolts, then how much gain you can see here? AV. A means gain, V means voltage. The voltage gain is given by V0 by Vi. That is equal to 10 millivolts by 2 millivolts. Therefore, the gain is 5. So this is possible only with the BJT like this. In the previous units you studied about diode. There this type of amplification is not at all possible because it consists of only two terminals, anode and then cathode. The maximum connections you can give is either forward bias or reverse bias. So the construction of the BJT is almost similar to diode, but one more extra terminal is added to create this type of special application. So basically transistor is a three-terminal device which is specially designed for this specific purpose, that is known as amplification. So while the signal is passing from a low resistance path to a high resistance path, the voltage amplification takes place. Okay, now let us read the definition again. A transistor means a transfer resistor. That is, it transfers the majority charge carriers. That is, assume that this is a BJT. The majority charge carriers are the current from low resistance to high resistance path. Okay, whenever certain voltage is passing through the device, automatically it conducts and produces some current. Those movement of majority carriers from low resistance to high resistance path will create the voltage amplification or current amplification or power amplification is also possible. Okay, so now transistors are the, so where we are applying these principles. So transistors are the fundamental or the basic building blocks of the modern electronic devices. Modern electronic devices, even previous electronic devices also, electronic applications also, transistor is the basic building block. Okay, so they are especially used for controlling. So what you are controlling? You are controlling the carriers from Vi to V0. In the tunnel diode, we already discussed about the one of the disadvantages of tunneling diode is there is no proper control for the flow of carriers. At that time we discussed about, that's why we came to a 3-terminal device. So because in case of a PN junction diode, just from anode to cathode the charge carriers are moving. There is no control for the carriers. Because of that reason only we came to the concept of transistor. Okay, so the second application is amplification, which we just now discussed. Okay. Then how to classify the transistors? Because a transistor is of course a 3-terminal device. There are some other transistors are also there. So the basic classification is BJT and another one is a FET, field effect transistor. So this is just a modified version of the BJT, because BJT is a temperature dependent device and it has strong effects due to temperature. That's why it is slightly the constructional change that is known as a field effect transistor. Then BJT is again divided into 2 transistors, that is based on the constructional differences. One is a NPN transistor, another one is a PNP transistor. Next, coming to the FET, because this is a modified version of a BJT where FET is again divided into JFET and MOSFET. As per your syllabus, you have BJT and then MOSFET, because MOSFET is another modified version of JFET. Okay, so in the speciality of JFET is here it can be operated in a depletion mode, whereas MOSFET is an extended version. It can be operated in both depletion and enhancement mode. Okay, now in each type of the FET or MOSFET, the speciality is in each mode of operation we can use either N channel or P channel. That is either the conduction is due to electrons or the conduction is due to holes. Whereas in case of BJT, BJT is a bipolar device. That means the current conduction is due to both polarities, that is both positive and negative. That's why the construction is like this. See, NPN, electrons, holes, and here this is PNP, holes and then electrons. It is a combination of movement of majority charge carriers. That's why we call this as a bipolar junction transistor, because the conduction, current conduction is due to both holes and electrons, which are majority charge carriers. Whereas FET is known as a unipolar device. Uni means one type of carriers, either holes or electrons. That's why either electrons or holes. Like that the conduction can be changed, because BJT produces more heat due to the passage or movement of both majority charge. That's why we limited the charge flow with either electrons or holes. That is a modification we had done in case of FET. Then we can concentrate more details on bipolar junction transistors, as we already studied that there are NPN and PNP transistors. Here the current conduction is due to, just now we have discussed both polarity of the charge carriers. The polarity means positive polarity and negative polarity. That is both electrons and holes. That's why we call this as a bipolar junction transistor. So it's not due to 2 junctions. Okay, it's only the conduction is due to electrons and holes. That's why we call this as bipolar junction transistor. Okay, now there are 2 types of BJTs. See here, so we can assume this construction as the combination of 2 diodes, but don't assume that a PNP transistor is a combination of a PN and 2 diodes connected back to back. It is constructionally we can assume like that, but you cannot combine 2 diodes like this. Okay, so the constructionally it is like a PN junction diode, and constructionally it is a PN junction diode connect in the back direction, so that the two cathodes will be joined together and considered as a base terminal. So the important terminals are emitter, middle one is a base, and another one is known as a collector. So similarly, if you take NPN transistor, it is like N is a cathode, P is a anode. Similarly, NP, so that is a cathode and anode joined together, we call this as a base terminal. Okay, then here if you see the construction to study what are the important terminals of BJT, so there are two types, of course, PNP and NPN transistors. So the left side P material is known as a emitter. Emitter, why the name has given as emitter? Because it emits the carriers. It acts like a source. Therefore, in PNP transistor, the left P side material is known as a emitter, which emit the majority charge carriers towards base and collector. Then here base, the middle portion N material is known as a base, which acts as a controlling unit. While the carriers are moving from the emitter to collector, it acts as a mediator. And the collector means, of course, which collect the carriers coming from the emitter side. So now conclusion is the BJT, either PNP or NPN transistor, it consists of three terminals. They are known as emitter, middle region is a base, and another one is a collector. Okay, coming to the doping concentrations. So which terminal has the different types of doping concentration? So here emitter is heavily doped. Already you know what is meant by light doping or normal doping or heavy doping. That is, you are increasing the dopants with respect to the germanium or silicon. So in case of emitter, which is a P material, where it is heavily doped. Why it must be heavily doped? Because it should emit more number of majority charge carriers for conduction. Then the base is lightly doped, because basically no conduction should take place within the base. So it just acts as a mediator to diffuse the carriers from emitter to collector side. Then the collector is moderately doped, because it has to collect all the carriers, so duty is only to collect the carriers. Therefore, these are the doping concentrations of emitter, base, and then collector. See, between emitter and base, there is a junction, so this is known as emitter junction. Because emitter is the biggest terminal, that's why we call this as JE, emitter junction. Similarly, between the collector and base, there is one more junction, that is known as JC, collector, because collector is the major and important terminal. Therefore, constructionally, PNP transistor consists of emitter, base, collector as a terminals, instead of anode and cathode, what we discussed previously for the diode. Here you are creating one extra terminal, extra material, that is N is sandwiched between two P materials. This is emitter, middle portion is a base, and the right side P material is known as a collector. Okay, so between emitter and base, there is a junction that is known as emitter junction, and between collector and base, the junction is known as a collector junction. Okay, now let us see the NPN transistor. Same type, just we are sandwiching the P material between two N material. So this is known as a emitter terminal, where this is heavily doped. Whatever may be the material, the emitter must be heavily doped. In PNP, emitter is heavily doped P material, and in NPN transistor, the N material is heavily doped, and the base is lightly doped, and collector is moderately doped. So like that we can take either PNP or NPN transistor for proper amplification or control the carriers. And similarly, between emitter and base, there is a junction. This is known as emitter junction, and between collector and base, there is one more junction, so this is known as a collector junction. So this is known as a construction. So into the areas, how much area should be covered with the emitter base collector. So here the collector should have more area space because it has to collect all the carriers coming from the emitter in addition to the carriers already existing in the P material. Then the base must be very very thin because no recombinations should take place in the base. That's why the base region must be very very thin. If you observe between JC and JE, the width is very very small and the space is comparatively less than collector but more than the base. So let us conclude again, the area of the collector is very very large and the area of the base is very very small or thin or narrow, and the emitter area is greater than base but less than collector. Similarly in NPN transistor also the area of the collector must be very large, base very thin compared to emitter and base spaces, and emitter is more than base space but less than collector space. So this is about the constructions of emitter, PNP and NPN transistor. Symbols of PNP and NPN transistor. So what does the symbol indicates? The symbol indicates the exact operation of either PNP or NPN transistor. So for example, in case of a PNP transistor, this arrowhead indicates the conventional current direction. That is how the majority charge carriers are starting. So here the majority charge carriers are starting from the emitter from P to N side via base and they reach the collector. So always the arrowhead indicate the conventional current direction, that is the direction of holes movement. So in case of a P-type PNP transistor, holes are majority charge carriers. Okay, so after the completion of the working of a PNP or NPN transistor, you can understand why the arrow is showing from emitter to base. If you see the NPN transistor, the direction of holes movement is from base to emitter. So after the working you can understand. Therefore, in case of PNP transistor, the arrowhead is from P to N, that is from emitter to base, whereas in case of NPN transistor, the direction of holes movement is from base to emitter. That's why the symbol is shown like that. Okay, and another one is always arrow should be given to the emitter. Here also arrow is given to the emitter terminal, and base must be usually flat and collector has no arrow like that. Now let us study the working of PNP transistor. Okay, see here already you know that the PNP transistor means the N material is sandwiched between two P materials and there is a junction between emitter and base. This is known as emitter junction, and there is one more junction between collector and base. This is between collector and base, so this is known as a collector junction. So now let us study the working of a PNP and NPN transistor. Okay, now let us focus on PNP transistor. See here, so the emitter base collector. See here, this is a emitter terminal and this is a base terminal and this is a collector terminal. Here for proper working of BJT, here what we are doing, between emitter and base we are giving forward bias connection. Forward bias means what? P material is connected to positive terminal of the battery and N material is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So this is known as a forward bias condition. Okay, then collector junction must be reverse biased. That is the collector means this is a P material, reverse bias means P key negative and N is positive. So this is known as a reverse bias condition. So previously we discussed about for any transistor to amplify, the important application of BJT is amplification. If you want to amplify, if you want to raise the strength of the weak signal, it must be connected like this. Okay, so this connection can be termed as a active region. Okay, that we will discuss later. So, for proper working of BJT, the emitter junction JE must be forward bias. That is, if you assume this construction as a PN junction diode, this is a forward bias. So, P positive, N negative forward bias. And collector reverse bias. See, again this is a PN material. P negative, N positive. This is known as a reverse bias condition. Now let us see the operation of a PNP transistor after giving the connections. So if emitter junction is a forward biased and collector junction is a reverse biased, this is known as active region. Active region. That is how actively the transistor involves for giving a very good amplification, how it rises the strength of the weak signal, that is known as an active region. Okay, now let us see. For example, due to this forward bias condition, you know that it is similar to the working of PN junction diode in a forward bias condition. See, these are the holes, they are completely positive charge carriers, isn't it? So this is a positive terminal of the battery. So each hole is repelled by the positive terminal of the battery. Therefore, whenever you are increasing the forward bias, what is happening? This will push the holes towards the emitter junction because the holes are repelled by positive terminal of the battery. Similarly, at the same time, this is the electrons. In N material, what are the electrons? See, electrons are majority charge carriers in base, but they are very less in number because it is lightly doped and the area of the base is very, very thin or narrow. That's why there are very less number of electrons. Similarly, the electrons will also be repelled. That's why they move towards the emitter junction. Okay, so now here the electrons will move. The electron cannot move this side because other side is a negative terminal of the battery. They will be again repelled. Therefore, the electrons will move towards this direction. So here the majority charge carriers holes are moving like that. For example, assume that 100 holes are starting from the emitter region because of this external forward bias. They are repelled and they move towards the base, and oppositely what are coming here? The electrons are coming from the opposite side. Some of them may recombine, they get neutralized. So assume that all the 100 enter into this one and some of the holes recombine with the electrons already existing in the base region. So for example, after the recombination, some of the holes nearly 95% or 98% will reach the collector. How they are moving and they are crossing this one? And you know that the majority carriers cannot have the capacity to cross the barrier, but once they enter into the opposite region, they will become minority carriers. Okay, see here in P material, holes are majority charge carriers in that region only. Once if they enter into the other area, we call them as a minority charge carriers. Similarly, the electrons are majority charge carriers here. Once if they enter into this one, we call them as a minority charge carriers. So the minority charge carriers 100 here recombine with a few of the electrons and the remaining reach the collector. So they are transferring. The charge carriers are moving from emitter to the base via this junction. Previously we studied that the charge carriers are moving from low resistance to high resistance path. Where is this low resistance? As soon as you are connecting a forward bias, definitely there must be a low resistance path. So now the charge carriers crossed this barrier with a low resistance. That's why they moved across the barrier. Then after reaching here, all the holes, they are attracted towards the negative terminal because holes are positive charge carriers, electrons are negative charge. So battery, negative terminal of the battery. So holes will try to come out of the material. But the holes, the current in the external wires is only due to electrons only. Therefore, the moment holes try to cross this barrier, equal number of covalent bonds will break within this P near this material. Therefore, holes and electrons will be released. Suppose if 98 holes try to cross the material, immediately 98 covalent bonds will break, equal number of holes and electrons will be created. So the holes will stay here, then electrons will come out. Why the electrons are coming out? Because there is a positive terminal of the battery. Therefore, the electrons are coming and they are coming towards the battery, will be attracted by the battery. Okay, so that's why continuously electrons are supplied here, because I told you some of the electrons will come this side, then there is an empty space, but it will not be created like that. Always they will maintain equilibrium condition. So the moment electron come this side, automatically the electrons will be supplied here, and some of the electrons will pass like this, because there is a closed circuit. If you connect any ammeter here, you can read the current. So that current is known as a collector current, because the charge carriers are moving towards the collector. That is known as a collector current. Similarly, as the covalent bonds were broken, holes and electrons are created. Holes will stay there and they will continue the process of moving. Electrons are coming out. If you connect any ammeter here, that is known as a emitter current. Okay, so here inside this one also the charge carriers are moving. We call this as emitter current. And here some of the recombinations takes place here. So that will constitute a base current. After that, the charge carriers enter here. They are also moving. That will constitute collector current. So this is known as a collector current. Okay, so now we can conclude what is the total current in a BJT. 100 carriers, this is an example only. So 100 carriers starting from the emitter, 5% recombine with the base, constitute base current, and the remaining reach the collector. Therefore, we can write one transistor equation. The emitter charge carriers are distributed into base current and collector current. So IE is equal to IB plus IC. So this is known as transistor current. The total current in a BJT is the sum of base current and collector currents. Therefore, this is the working of PNP transistor. PNP transistor, the current conduction is due to both majority carriers of holes and electrons. Minority carriers will also move, because once the electrons come into this one, we will call that as a minority charge carrier. So both majority and minority charge carriers, that is known as a BJT. That's why we call this as a BJT. NPN transistor, same thing. See, electrons are majority charge carriers. So here the electrons are majority charge carriers, and P material, majority charge carriers are holes. N material, again the majority charge carriers are electrons. Okay, so emitter base, between emitter and base there is a forward bias. Between emitter and base there is a forward bias. How to say that it is under forward bias condition? This is N material, N negative, and this is a P positive. So this is known as a forward bias condition. Collector junction must be reverse biased. Collector junction is this one, between collector and base. Okay, so this is a emitter, and this region is known as a base, and this is a collector. Between collector base reverse bias. Collector material is what? N. So to this N positive, and then this one P negative. So that's why this is under strong reverse bias condition, and this connection is known as active region, because here you are doing the application which is amplification. That's why we call this as a active region. The NPN transistor is connected in active region. So the majority charge carriers are electrons here. Similarly, this is a negative terminal of the battery. Both are repelled. For example, if 100 electrons, okay, all these are electrons only. The electrons are moving towards the base region because they are repelled by the negative terminal of the battery. Similarly, same force is for the holes also. Here, the majority charge carriers are holes. They will try to move towards this side. They cannot go right side because there is a positive terminal of the battery. So the holes and electrons move in opposite directions, and some of the electrons recombine with the holes inside the base region. they will constitute a base current. As electrons are moving from emitter to base, they will constitute a current, emitter current. The recombination takes place here, that is known as a base current. After that, the remaining electrons will enter into the collector, that will constitute a collector current. Therefore, the emitter current is equal to base current plus collector current. Therefore, here also the transistor current IE is equal to IB plus IC. This is known as the transistor current equation. Okay. Similarly, whenever the electrons reach here, and you know that the current in the external wires is due to electrons only. Therefore, anyway, electrons are coming out. That's why see the direction of current, the direction of electrons are coming like this. In PNP transistor, electrons are coming out from the emitter, reach the base and then collector also. Whereas in case of NPN transistor, the direction of current is like this because electrons are coming out. Therefore, in case of NPN transistor, the majority charge carriers here movement is due to electrons and holes are also moving in opposite direction. So, the current conduction is due to both electrons and holes, that is both majority and minority charge carriers. That's why we call this as a bipolar junction transistor. So, you can also read the current by connecting an ammeter here, or you can also connect an ammeter here to read the base current, and similarly here also you can connect an ammeter to read the collector current. We know that the important applications of BJT, one of the important applications is amplifier. That is, amplifier means the strength of the weak signal can be raised. That is known as a perfect amplification. So if the signal is weaker, then we can increase the magnitude of that weak signal. That can be done by the BJT. Some of the other applications of BJT are the switch. BJT can be used as a switch. Switch means there are two conditions, on switch as well as off switch. So in addition to the amplification, one more advantage or application of BJT is as a switch. So to meet these applications, we have to connect the BJT in different biasing conditions. Biasing means giving some supply for proper working of any device. In diode, we have given forward bias and reverse bias. Similarly, in BJT, you know that there are three terminal device here. As there are three terminals, okay, and two junctions, we can give any type of a bias here. Between emitter and base, JE may be forward biased, JC may be reverse biased, or both forward or both reverse biased. So depending upon the application, we will change the biasing connections. So that's why under this we can calculate the transistor current equation as well as we can specify certain applications. For example, if you want to operate a BJT as an amplifier, you have to connect the BJT in active region. So the application is as an amplifier. For example, if you want to use BJT as a switch, for example, on switch. So for that, you need to connect the BJT in a saturation region. Suppose if you want to operate BJT as a off switch, so you have to connect a BJT in a cutoff region. So as there are two junctions, the possible biasing conditions are 4, that is reverse active or inverted region. Commercially, it has no specific application. That's why we cannot use this operation. So now let us study brief about what is meant by active region, what is meant by saturation region, and what is meant by cutoff region. Okay, we will concentrate on these 3. So among above 4 regions, active region has wide range of applications because the application is amplification, which does not provided by the semiconductor 2-terminal device. Let us see what is meant by saturation region. Saturation means where you can use BJT as on switch. For that condition, both the emitter and collector junctions must be forward biased. Suppose if you take, I'll take a PNP transistor. Okay. See, this is emitter, base, collector. Between emitter and base, if you give any forward bias, see, this is forward, that is P positive and negative. So this is a forward bias condition. If collector junction is also forward bias, see here EB and between collector and base. If emitter base junction, collector base junctions are forward biased, that is known as a saturation region. Collector junction, what is the material here? P. So this is a P positive, N negative. This is known as a saturation region. That is, if a emitter base forward bias, collector junction also forward biased, that type of connection is known as a saturation region. That as both junctions are forward biased, we call this as a more current that is possible with on switch. So we can say that transistor is on because it both junctions are forward biased. Okay, then another one is a cutoff region. Cutoff region means if both emitter junction and collector junctions are reverse biased. Okay, let us see. If you take a PNP transistor again, this is a PNP transistor between emitter and base. See, this is emitter, base, this is collector. Between both emitter and collector base junction, it must be reverse biased. See here, P reverse biased, collector also reverse biased. The collector material is a P, therefore it is again reverse bias, minus plus and minus plus. This is known as a cutoff region. So if both the emitter and collector junctions are forward biased, this is known as a saturation region where it can be used as an on switch. And if both junctions are reverse biased, you know that if you take an ideal diode, if it is reverse biased, the current is 0. If both emitter and collector junctions are reverse biased, as both are reverse biased, we can say that it is a off condition, off situation, or it can be called as off switch. So like that, in saturation region, we can use BJT as an on switch, and in collector region, in cutoff region, it is treated as a off condition. Okay, then the most important operating region in BJT is active region where you can expect the amplification. Amplification means which rises the strength of the weak signal. Okay, so how a weak signal is magnitude is amplified, or how the weak signal magnitude is improved or increased if you connect BJT in forward bias emitter junction and collector reverse biased. So that is, just now we have studied about the working of PNP and NPN transistors. See here, if you take a PNP transistor, between emitter and base, we have given forward bias connection. See, this is emitter and this is a base. And between collector and base, reverse bias. Okay, this is collector. Between collector and base, reverse bias condition. And between emitter and base, forward bias. This is known as active region. See here, EB junction, that is emitter base junction, is forward biased, and CB, that is a collector base junction, is reverse biased. This condition is known as active, because whenever BJT is active, then only amplification takes place. So if I operate the transistor in this biasing condition, then it is said to be under active region. So what is the active operation is performing here? Amplification only. Okay, so another last one is reverse active or inverted region, because there are 4 combinations are possible, that is JE reverse bias and JC forward bias. So commercially it does not have any specific commercial application. Okay, so now let us conclude in a single point. We will conclude. Now we will conclude the operating regions of BJT at one place. See here, there are three operating regions. One is active region, saturation region, and then cutoff region. So what is meant by active region? The JE and JC, emitter junction and collector junction. That is, if JE is forward biased and collector junction is reverse biased, this type of biasing condition is known as active region. Here the important application is as an amplifier. So if you want to raise the strength of any weak signal, we call this as an amplifier. For that, the biasing conditions must be forward biased emitter junction, reverse biased collector junction. Second one is a saturation region. Saturation means both forward biased JE and JC. If both emitter junction and collector junction are forward biased, that is known as saturation region. Here the important application of BJT is as on switch. Okay, then if both reverse biased JE and JC, if both emitter junction and collector junction are reverse biased, we call this as off switch. Okay, so these are the important operating regions and then the corresponding applications of BJT. Okay, so like that we can conclude the introduction of BJT. And now let us see here, in case of PNP transistor, we connected BJT in active region. That means between emitter and base there is a forward bias, P positive, N negative, and collector junction reverse biased, that is a collector minus, and that is P minus N plus. So now let us see how the symbol of BJT can be compared with this construction. Okay, see here we have given the symbol for a PNP transistor. The hole's direction is from emitter to base. If you see this diagram, PNP transistor, the holes are moving from emitter to the base, isn't it? The starting source is from emitter to base. Therefore, we can say that this is a symbol of PNP transistor. The arrow indicates the direction of holes movement, or technically we can say that it is a conventional current direction. See, the holes are moving from emitter towards the base. Okay, that's why the emitter, always emitter is represented with an arrow, base, and the hole's direction is from emitter to the base. Then in case of NPN transistor, the electrons are majority charge carriers. Electrons are moving like this. At the same time, the in P material, holes are majority charge carriers. The holes are repelled by this positive terminal of the battery. They move like this. They are moving like this. So the hole's direction is from base to emitter. So in NPN transistor, the electrons are moving from emitter to base, while the holes in p-type material, holes are majority charge carriers. They are repelled by this positive terminal of the battery. They will move towards the emitter side, while all the electrons are moving from here to emitter to the base. All these are electrons. At the same time, holes are moving from base to emitter. So that's why the arrowhead indicate like this. So in case of NPN transistor, from base to emitter, this is collector. Okay. So this is a symbol of BJT for NPN transistor. Our next topic is, what are the important configurations of BJT for some specific purpose? As you know already that the important applications are as an amplifier or as a on switch or off switch. Now we are focusing on the characteristics of BJT. Like in PN junction diode, we studied VI characteristics. Similarly, to study the characteristics of BJT before applying for any specific application, we have to know how many ways we can connect the BJT. Okay, now here you see, depending upon which of the terminals is used as a common terminal. One of the terminals must be make it as a common, because in order to control the flow of charge carriers from one terminal to another terminal, that is known as making one of the terminals a common. Suppose if you make emitter as a common, then we can call this as a common emitter transistor. That is, emitter common means emitter is grounded. Usually we call this, in case of common emitter is grounded, but we can also say that emitter is common to remaining two terminals. What are the remaining two terminals? Base and collector. Similarly, you can make base as a common. That is, base can be taken as a ground, or it is a common to emitter and collector. Then another one is a common collector. That is, a collector is a common to emitter and then base. That is, if a collector is grounded, the base acts as input and emitter acts as an output. Therefore, depending upon which of the terminal you are making ground or common to remaining two terminals, the applications as well as the properties like VI characteristics can be effectively studied. Okay. Now, let us see here, in each configuration we will study how, and the default operating region for all these is active region, because our purpose is to amplify. One of the major applications of BJT is amplifier only. So in all these combinations, configurations, we will take active region. That is, our expectation is to amplify the weak signal, to raise the strength of the weak signal. Okay. Now let us see for a common base. Let us observe how the transistor is connected in active region. For example, see here, the arrow is pointed outwards, so we can tell this as an NPN transistor. Here, if you see this diagram, the arrow is pointing from here, emitter to base. Arrow is pointing inwards, therefore it must be a PNP transistor. See, this is an emitter terminal, base terminal, and this is a collector terminal. Okay, in NPN transistor, the holes are moving from base to emitter. That's why arrowhead point outwards. Okay, so here it is connected in active region. That is N, that is, what is the material is this one? NPN transistor. So N negative, P positive. So this is under perfect forward bias condition. Similarly, collector junction reverse bias. Collector material is N, so N positive, this is a negative, so this is under a reverse bias condition. So this is known as a common base, that is, the base is common. So we can say that the base is grounded, or this is a common to emitter and collector. Same concept can be converted for PNP transistor also. So in PNP transistor, the base is common because base is either ground or it is common to emitter and the terminal here, the terminal is a collector. Emitter base junction is always forward biased. So what is the material here? This is a PNP transistor. So P positive, N negative. So this is under forward bias condition. Collector junction must be reverse biased. So this is a collector, material is P. So P negative, N positive, this is under a reverse bias condition. So now if you observe the both diagrams, you can say that both are connected under common base configuration. That means base is common to emitter and collector on both sides, and according to the symbol like PNP transistor, NPN transistor and PNP transistor, both are connected in active region. That is, emitter junction forward bias, collector junction reverse bias. Similarly, here also emitter between emitter and base forward bias, collector junction reverse biased. So this is known as a common base configuration. If you connect BJT in this way, it has a wide number of application, which is a highest voltage gain. is possible if you connect like this. Highest voltage gain means what? If you give a low voltage here, if you give any small signal here, for example, if I give any 2 millivolts of signal, you will get a very, very large output voltage that we have already explained in the first class. So, in case of common base configuration, the voltage gain is very, very large. Okay, but the current gain is approximately equal to 1. Current gain is very small or almost negligible. Because, see here, all the charge carriers are starting from the emitter are reaching the collector. Suppose if 100 charge carriers are moving here, output, if it is an ideal one, all 100 carriers should reach the collector, but base takes some recombination. So, 100 is equal to, if it is an ideal transistor, 100 charge carriers will be reached towards the collector. So, IE is equal to IC. So, if IE is equal to IC, what is the gain? IC by IE, that will become 1. So, the current gain is approximately equal to 1. The current gain is nil almost. That's why what is the overall power gain? The power gain is equal to voltage gain into current gain, which is a very, very low value. So that's why we are studying the characteristics of common base configuration, where the charge carriers are moving from a low resistance path to high resistance path. That's why we call this as a transistor. So if you take a common collector transistor, common collector means what? Collector is common to both base and emitter. You cannot take output through the base, that's why we are giving it as an input. See here, collector. So this terminal is a collector, and this acts as a base, and this acts as here the terminal is a emitter. You have to take output through the emitter. That's why another name for common collector is emitter follower. Why we call this as emitter follower? The reason is the output follows the emitter. Here you are taking the output. Output is followed through the emitter terminal. Therefore, we call this as emitter follower. It's a very, very important concept here. Therefore, as the collector is common or the collector is grounded, base must be the input and emitter must be the output. So again, between emitter and base, you should see that there must be proper forward bias. So this is a NPN transistor, arrowhead point outwards. See here, NPN, so N negative, P positive. So it is perfectly under active region, and collector you need not worry, because anyway collector is grounded. For example, collector junction must be reverse biased. Where is the collector and base? Reverse biased means this is N material. So it is at least forward reverse biased at one side. So you have to see that emitter and base terminals must be under forward bias. Emitter is this one N, so N negative is there, and base must be positive is there. So this is perfectly under active region. Similarly, if you see the PNP transistor, see arrowhead point inwards, so this is a PNP transistor, and this is a collector terminal grounded, and this is a base terminal, and this is a emitter. Because we have no other option, because the collector is grounded, usually we will take output to the collector, but here the collector is grounded, so the only option is you have to take output through the emitter. That's why we call this as emitter follower. Here also you are taking output through the emitter, that's why we call this as emitter follower. Okay, so here this is also under strong forward bias condition. Between emitter and base, you should see that there must be a forward bias. See, this is a P material emitter, so P positive, and this is N negative. The perfect active region is maintained here. Collector anyway reverse biased. See, because this is already grounded, that's why we cannot worry about the collector junction. At least one side it is maintaining reverse bias. See, this is a P and this is a minus. Anyway, it is maintaining reverse bias condition. So this is about the connections about the common collector config. Collector, the important application here is the current gain is very, very large. Here the voltage gain is approximately 1. 1 means input and output voltages are same. Why? Because you are taking output through the emitter. Emitter acts as an input usually. You are taking output through the emitter itself. That's why the voltage gain is equal to 1. So if you take the product, the power gain is equal to low only. Because if you multiply AI and AV, the voltage gain or the power gain ultimately will be very low value. So in case of common emitter configuration here, the voltage gain and current gain are mediumly high. If you multiply these two medium high values, the power gain is automatically, therefore the power gain is equal to product of voltage gain and current gain, which is a very, very large values. Therefore they are very high. Which one? Power gain is very, very large. So CE, CB, CC has their own individual applications.